Hey everyone, it's Jerome Witte. I've got a great episode for you today. It is St. Patrick's Week in Chicago, and we went down to Lincoln Square and met with Eoghan Murphy of Gideon Welles Pub. He showed us a few things in the restaurant, talked about the history, where they got the name, and we were able to sample a few of their great recipes. In addition to that, Sean Colledge from the Old Town School of Folk Music came by. He played the fiddle for us. Have you ever heard of Irish polka? You'll have a chance to listen to that here shortly. Last but not least, we're going to go over some of the great events and happenings in and around the city and suburbs starting this weekend. Talk of the Town with Jerome Witte starts now. Welcome to Talk of the Town with Jerome Witte. I'm at Gideon Welles in Lincoln Square with Eoghan Murphy, owner-operator.
Jerome, you're very welcome. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
We are leading up to St. Patrick's Weekend in Chicago, and I wanted to stop by a great gastropub. It's a little bit of everything. You've been in Lincoln Square for almost 10 years now, right?
We'll be open 9 years next week, actually.
Next
Jerome.
week?
Yeah.
Excellent. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about the concept, and because you've been here since the opening, right? You opened
Yeah.
it.
So we're mostly Irish-owned business. We have 5 of our staff members that are actually from Ireland. But when we opened, we actually didn't want to be just an Irish pub. We didn't want, for that to be our only label. We wanted to be community. We wanted to be neighbourhood. We wanted to be local. We wanted to be welcoming and open to everything. There was a lot of Irish pubs in the neighbourhood at that time when we opened, so we always knew we'd have that Irish connection anyway through our friends and family and through contacts that we had over the years. So we just decided that we just wanted to be more local, more neighbourhood.
Got it. Now the name, Gideon Welles, for those who don't know.
We get asked that question quite a bit because it's kind of unusual. So it took us forever to come up with a name. Initially, we had come up with the idea of it being called Shortstop, the Shortstop, reference to Wells Park, where there's a lot of baseball played in Wells Park, and it was a short stop from the park to the bar. And we went back and forth on that. Eventually, we just decided we're just going to call it Gideon Welles after the park. Now, Gideon Welles was the Secretary of the Navy during the Civil War in Lincoln's cabinet or Lincoln's office, and this, of course, being Lincoln Square as well, we had that connection, so we decided to go with the name Gideon Welles.
Appropriate.
Definitely not an Irish name, and definitely our staff members get asked that numerous times throughout the course of their shift about who Gideon Welles was and where the name came from.
And that's Gideon Welles right
That's
here.
him right there. Yeah.
You got great space here. How would you describe the interior? There's obviously a front of the house.
We've our front bar up front, mostly high top seating, very relaxed, comfortable to watch a game, grab a snack, have a beer. Back here is more for larger families, larger groups, private parties, baseball families. We have a great relationship with local schools, Queen of Angels, Waters, Ravenswood, St. Matthias. We do a lot of functions and events and fundraisers with them back here. So we're lucky we have the bar, and then we can do some other stuff back here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not to mention when it's warm out, we have a wonderful side patio, sidewalk facing south towards the park.
Yeah.
Is this also some seating over here on the
Yeah,
Lincoln
we do
side?
have some seating on the Lincoln side as well. That was a huge Jerome selling point for us when we came to take this bar over, was to have a huge patio right beside one of the most beautiful parks in Chicago. And it's fantastic in the summer. We work with a local florist, landscaper, who does a beautiful job on it. And we can seat on both sides up to 80 people outside in the summer, which is great.
That's great, yeah. How early in the season will you open the outside? If you get a nice warm weather day?
The city just changed the laws on that, whereby you can actually open your outdoor area year round. So whenever you're ready to open it, you can open it, and that's it.
So you're waiting for that first?
Yeah, the first day that it hits maybe mid-50s, 60, we'll open it up, and we have heaters to go as well.
That's right. So in Florida, where they're tucking inside at 50 degrees, we're out on the sidewalks, al fresco dining.
Absolutely, and We had it open up until mid-November this year, which was great. Yeah.
So what are some of the events and some of the things that you offer here? I know tonight you're having a really special session here. Maybe tell her, by the time this airs, it'll be in the past, but is that something that you do every now and then?
Yeah, tonight we have a group called the Boyles. The lead singer, the lead musician of that group is he teaches at the Old Town School of Folk Music, who we also have a great relationship with. They're coming in tonight to play a session just to kick off our St. Patrick's Day celebrations for the next couple of weeks. So we're looking forward to that. Just going through the weekend on Saturday, we'll have dancers coming by from the Foy School of Irish Dance, a Northside dance school. We'll have a special St. Patrick's Day menu. You know, the music going all day. We'll have the hangover brunch on Sunday. Going into next week, Thursday, we'll open early for March Madness. Get that started. And then Friday, open early all day for the actual St. Patrick's Day. Really looking forward to that. We'll have a DJ, actually, an Irish DJ playing from 4 to 7 on St. Patrick's Day, along with all our food specials and, of course, all the March Madness basketball going on as well. So that should be a big day.
You got it, everything. Now, we just heard some singing going on. There's a soccer match that just got finished. So do a lot of people come here to watch soccer?
We had, a big soccer following. That group, they call themselves the Lincoln Square Hooligans, and they're all Bayern Munich fans, and Bayern Munich are just after beating Paris in the Champions League, so they're very happy, as you can hear.
Absolutely. Talking about your menu, you mentioned you wanted to have, you've got a very versatile, just a lot of different things to choose from. First time I came here, I could not make a selection. There's so many good choices. Can you kind of walk us through some of the menu items and also, what are some of your favorites and some of the most popular?
Yeah, we're very lucky. Our chef, JC, who's been with us since we've opened, he's been with us almost now 9 years. He's done a fantastic job, from crispy goat cheese, that's a very popular appetizer, quesadillas, our wings, the buffalo sauce is made from scratch. It's absolutely fantastic. I recommend that to anybody. Our Irish dishes are, our corned beef, our fish and chips, our shepherd's pie, really popular.
Absolutely.
I'd stand behind all of those. This time of the year, the cooler months, we do a bone-in pork chop, we do a bistro steak. So there's something for everybody.
You're making me hungry.
Our tacos are also really good, our shrimp tacos.
What about drinks? What kind of drinks do you have? What kind of things do you have on tap?
I like to always have a combination of craft local. So we work with a lot of the local breweries like Beguile, Half Acre, Maplewood. And then I also like to have a lot of beers coming in from Europe as well. We like to have some Belgian ales, also Stiegel, Kronbacher from Germany, and of course Guinness as well.
Absolutely.
Cheers to that.
Now you've got a couple samplings here for us today. Two of my favorites. First time I came, I did not order the Reuben, but my brother did, and oh my gosh, I was so happy he gave me a taste of it. Look at this. That is enormous. Look how thick that is.
Yeah.
How much corned beef is on there? I don't know if you could see, but there's two of these.
Yeah.
In addition to the fries are fabulous.
There should be about a half pound. There could be a little bit more.
Wow.
But the more the better. The fries are hand cut in-house. Take time to prepare, but definitely worth it for the flavour. We never buy our fries in frozen. We always prepare them in-house.
And we have is this battered cod?
Yeah, so that is a Stiegel, which is a brewery in Austria. Stiegel lager battered cod.
Wow.
So light and crispy, and very popular dish.
I've got to try this. I guess the fry first.
The Reuben it's cooked slow for 6 hours. It's brined with Guinness, and then we slice it, of course, in-house. And the chef JC, he doesn't like to call it a Thousand Island. He makes it here. It's a Russian sauce, which is a take on a Thousand Island, but slightly different.
But it's made here.
It's made here as well.
So he gets to put his little spin on it.
And then Swiss cheese and some sauerkraut, and away you go.
All right, you want to try that? And let's see. A little cheers to phenomenal food.
Cheers
and
to
a
that,
great
Jerome,
weekend.
and thanks for coming in.
Oh man! Wow, that is so good, and so much of it. That has got to be one of the better items in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a very popular item.
And then I can't wait to try this little cod. Let me go ahead and try a piece of that.
Have you ever been over to Ireland, Joe?
I've not.
Yeah.
It's on my to-go list.
Yeah. Something you'll have to get done.
It's definitely in the plan. So this is excellent. This is bringing to Ireland here to Chicago, to Lincoln Square.
Absolutely.
And if you have not been, you've got to check out this place. Gideon Welles is at 4500 North Lincoln Avenue, just north of the park. Great seating options, TVs if you want to watch the game. If you've got kids, you come out here to the back. There's space for everyone. There's menu items for everyone. Drinks. Great location. When you're done, go ahead and walk and do the window shopping. Thanks so much for having me, Owen.
You're very welcome, Jerome. Thanks for coming.
You're an asset to the neighborhood,
Thank you.
and look forward to coming back again.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town with Jerome Witte. I'm at Gideon Welles Pub in Lincoln Square with Sean Colledge of the Old Town School of Folk Music. Sean is a musician, plays a lot of different instruments. Sean, thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
All right, if you could just tell our audience a little bit about your musical background and when you got started and what your specialties are.
Okay. Well, I've been a musician my whole life. Started playing guitar when I was a kid and started picking up other stringed instruments when I was in college in my early 20s. And that's when I found traditional Irish music when I went to Ireland. And people were playing in very informal sessions, and I really liked that. I was a very stage fright kid, doing any kind of performing by myself. I really loved the social aspect of it, and have been doing it ever since. And picked up other styles of other styles of music as well, but still very much love playing traditional Irish music.
Do you remember the first time you jumped into a session, or does it all kind of blend together from when you were in Ireland?
No, I learned a couple tunes first.
Okay.
I didn't want to just show up and not know what I was doing. So I spent about 6 months learning some tunes on the mandolin and on the banjo. I didn't really pick up the fiddle for a couple years, but once I did, I was really hooked on that, and I still play all the instruments. Really, there's a lot of fiddlers, so I like to. A lot of times when I'm in a session, I like to just kind of round it out with whatever instrument's not being played.
What are some of your favorite instruments to play?
I really love playing Irish music on the tenor banjo and on the concertina, but I love playing the fiddle as well. It's just a little more tiring.
Mm-hmm. Now, for those who don't know, the violin and the fiddle, same instrument.
Definitely.
It's just a matter of how it's played. What are some of the different variations, and how could you best explain that to the listeners?
Well, the violin is the word for it itself, but when people refer to a fiddle, they may not know it, but they're mostly referring to a style, mm-hmm. A musical style. So if you're playing a violin but you're not playing classical music, you're probably playing fiddle.
Mm-hmm. Now there's Appalachian music, mm-hmm. there's folk, there's obviously Irish, mm-hmm. traditional. What are some of the other styles of fiddle that are?
There's also Cajun fiddling, Louisiana fiddle styles, but there's other European styles of fiddling too. I don't really get into those, but there's plenty of fiddle styles. There's Cape Breton style. There's Canadian tunes from Canada.
What do you teach at the Old Town School? What are some of the classes that you teach? And who are some of your students? Is it people who've never ever played before to highly advanced? What are the levels, and who are your students, I guess? Mostly
my students come very new to the fiddle, very new to just picking it up in general. They just never touched it at all. And some students enter the advanced classes having maybe played violin as a child, mm-hmm. And they put it down for a long time. They had it, and they're picking it up again, but they don't really want to play classical music. Surprisingly, a lot of them don't really know what kind of fiddle style they want to play or anything like that, and so that's why I kind of throw everything at them, and I introduce different kinds of fiddle tunes of different styles based on where they are skill-wise. Irish fiddle is definitely the closest thing to playing the violin in terms of skill needed of all the fiddle styles. Irish fiddling is the most complicated and the most advanced. So I don't necessarily introduce a lot of Irish fiddle tunes until they get to a more advanced level.
Yeah.
But for some of my Fiddle 1 students and even my introduction to fiddle class, where as we get deeper into the session and they've learned how to pick it up, they've learned how to hold the bow, they've learned how to play a simple scale, I might actually introduce them to a simple Irish polka, where there's not a lot of notes being played, but there's a good opportunity to gain some bowing skills.
Sounds excellent. Now, is it true that after Guinness you become a much better violin or fiddle player?
No.
No? Okay, well.
No, but you get warmed up faster.
For sure. There's something about a pint of Guinness in the pub setting with others playing different instruments. There's actually a session here tonight. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Did not know that.
How often do you attend those, and how is the session scene, the traditional session scene here in Chicago?
It's like no other. It's one of the best session scenes in the country for sure. I have three kids, so I don't get to float around and visit them very often anymore. I do host a session on Tuesday nights up in Evanston at Sketchbook Brewing, and we have a good time with that. It's a small little session, and
what time is that?
It's real close to home, So
what time is that?
Come all the way down into the city
on Tuesdays, you said?
Yeah, Tuesdays 7 to 10 on Chicago Avenue in Evanston.
So you mentioned an Irish polka. What does that sound like?
Well, an Irish polka. Irish polkas are a little bit simpler than the jigs and the reels in that they have fewer notes over on this side, and they're on the fiddle they're characterized by the slurring of the bow. So the one that I taught my beginner class the other day is a super simple one that just goes like this.
Sounds beautiful year-round, but especially in March.
Yeah, so a tune like that really doesn't have that many notes over here. Those people just learned where to put their fingers, and so we'll go through a tune like that. They just picked up the fiddle for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I can get them to play that.
What's a more advanced
some of them it's
sound?
easier than others.
What would be a more level 2 or advanced, I guess?
Probably the more difficult tunes are the reels and the slip jigs. The slip jig is a pretty specific dance, but there's a lot of great fiddle tunes that are slip jigs, and they're in 9/8 time.
Let's hear it.
So a slip jig would go something like this.
Wonderful. Well, Sean, thanks for coming by and talking about the fiddle.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
I really appreciate it. If you could just end with one of your favorite little jigs or favorite little reels.
Sure.
Friend.
All right.
Thanks again for coming by.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, we're leading up to the weekend of March 11th and 12th. That is the weekend before St. Patrick's Day. In Chicago, that's always a very festive weekend. Not only is St. Patrick's Day a festive day, but the whole weekend prior. For today's episode, I wanted to highlight some of the things that are taking place. I want to go over some of the things that are happening this weekend and next weekend in and around Chicago area. Obviously the big one this Saturday, March 11th, is the St. Patrick's Day Parade and the dyeing of the river. The dyeing of the Chicago River, where they dye it green, that starts at around 10 o'clock in the morning. And then the 68th annual parade kicks off at 12:30. The entry to the parade is only at Jackson and Ida B. Wells, and that is at 11 o'clock. And for those who have not been or have not been in a while, coolers, alcohol, open beverages, none of that is allowed. They will not allow you to bring that into the parade route. South side of town, we've got the South Side Irish Parade the next day on Sunday the 12th. That's always a fun parade. It's a 1.5 miles long on Western Avenue. It starts at 103rd and Western, making its way down to 115th. There's many places in which to watch, whether you're on the east side of the Western or the west side. You could take the Metro train down there. There's a couple different Metro stops, making it easy access for public transportation. A lot of great places along the parade route in which to get a refreshment. Hopefully we get some good weather for that. On the northwest side, there's the Northwest Side Parade, and that is also on Sunday, and that is going to be starting at noon. And that usually takes about an hour. That starts at Onahan School and makes its way up Northwest Highway. You could take the Metro and get off at Norwood Park if you're coming from the city or suburbs. Street parking is not too bad. You might have to walk a few blocks. There's a lot of great places as well in that area to watch, but also to get some lunch or breakfast prior. The official after party for the Northwest Side Parade is from 1 to 5 at Zia's Social on Northwest Highway. That is along the parade route. And that is $50 for adults. It includes cocktails, beer, wine, full Irish buffet, entertainment, and there'll be face painters, a DJ, Trinity Irish dancers, raffles. $25 if you're a non-alcohol drinking adult, and $10 for kids 12 and under. They'll have their prize raffle, a kids buffet, and soda. Other things going on this weekend in the city, the Irish American Heritage Center over on Knox Avenue in the Mayfair neighborhood. They've got their St. Patrick's Festival on Saturday the 11th, starting at 1 p.m. Tickets are $15 in advance for adults, $20 the day of the party, and children 12 and under are free. If you haven't been to the Irish American Heritage Center, they're going to have all sorts of entertainment, and it's going to be very. They have things such as the Wiggle Worms, which is children's activities. There'll be music, obviously, dance, and food and drink for purchase. Staying with the Irish American Heritage Center, next Friday, actual March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, the Fifth Province Pub, which is within the Heritage Center, is open from 3 to 11, and they'll have music all day from favorites from the Dooley Band, and capping it off at 9 p.m., I believe, is In Spite of Ourselves. Admission is $10 at the door. Kids 12 and under are free. One of my favorite Irish pubs in the city, Chief O'Neill's. At one point, I believe, was named the best Irish pub in the country. That's over in Avondale off of Elston. On Saturday, March 11th, on Parade Day, they'll be open as early as 8 a.m. 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. The $10 cover charge starts at noon. I believe music starts at 9 a.m. with Tim O'Shea and Joe Nielsen. And they'll have music and dancing and all sorts of entertainment. I believe they'll have face painting as well. Upstairs at Chief O'Neill's is an opportunity. They have limited space for some private seatings for what they call Mrs. O'Neill's parlor seating times. And at that, it says, our Grand Emerald Isle Buffet features our Irish favorites, including fish and chips, corned beef and cabbage, shepherd's pie, Irish chicken curry, salads, and desserts. That's $40 per person. They do have specific times as far as when those seatings are, and that is also on Saturday. Getting back to the Sunday, the 12th at Chief O'Neill's, they will have their traditional Sunday brunch, and that is from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And they will have music a little bit later in the day, starting at 4 o'clock, and they'll have a traditional session at 5 o'clock on Sunday, March 12th. No cover on Sunday. Next weekend at Chief O'Neill's, the music starts again early at 10:30 in the morning, and it goes until midnight. There's a $10 cover charge starting at 4 p.m. And something a little bit different here in Edgebrook at the library, Thursday, March 16th at the Edgebrook Library, Find the Shamrocks Scavenger Hunt. It's free. Ages 4 and up can celebrate St. Patrick's Day by finding the shamrocks hidden inside the library. Win a prize while supplies last. That sounds super cool. I think my kids would be into that. As we look into the suburbs, there's a lot going on in the city, but there's also a lot going on in the suburbs. Starting with the west suburbs, the St. Charles Parade, Saturday the 11th. It's hosted annually in downtown St. Charles. The parade steps off at 2 p.m. at Main Street and 6th Street and continues down Main Street. Along the parade route, you'll notice one of the great Irish pubs of the west suburbs, McNally's. They've got a lot going on starting on Thursday. They've got Thirsty Thursday with Fiddle in the middle. Friday, March 10th from 5 to 7, they've got the Quiet Man Irish Whiskey Sampling Event. It's free. There's giveaways. And then obviously on Saturday, you can view the parade from McNally's. I believe they opened at 11 a.m. I'm not quite sure. You might want to double check that on Parade Day Saturday. Continuing in the west suburbs, the Ballydoyle Downers Grove St. Patrick's Family Day is on Sunday the 12th. They have different seatings and different options, music, dancing. Check out Ballydoyle's Irish Pub in downtown Downers Grove. It starts at 10 a.m. with, I believe, a Shamrock buffet, and they'll have Irish dancers at 12:30, and musicians are coming in after that. Let's see here. We've got Quigley's Irish Pub in Naperville. There's a parade on Saturday in Naperville, the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Naperville, and Quigley's Irish Pub. There's also a 5K, a Naperville 5K called St. Paddy's Day 5K. It's an 8 a.m. race start. So what better way to start the day by getting a little exercise in with a 5K? That's $35 to register. And at Quigley's, they're going to have $100 for the best St. Paddy's Day outfit. So it's a costume contest on March 11th in Naperville. Speaking of the Naperville St. Patrick's Day Parade, there are more than 100 parade entries, floats, cars, bands, dancers, singers, you name it. The parade starts at Naperville North High School and proceeds south on Mill Street to Jefferson, and it goes east on Jefferson to Maine. Another pub to take a look at while you're out there is the Lantern Pub in Naperville, and they open at 9 a.m. Okay, south of town is the St. Patrick's Day program at Gaelic Park. Be sure to check out Gaelic Park in the south suburbs. There's so much going on. I can't even name all of it, but we'll have some more information in the notes here. And as we look north, the village of Lake Villa is having its annual St. Patrick's Day Parade on March 11th as well. That is a parade that kicks off at Palombi Middle School and ends on Cedar Avenue by the train station. And Friday, March 15th to Sunday, March 17th for 3 days in downtown Wakanda. Check out Shamrock the Block. That is in downtown Wakanda. The 7th annual Barrington Celtic Fest is Thursday through Saturday, March 16th through the 18th. Thursday is at 5 p.m. Friday and Saturday starts at 11. Basically, downtown Barrington, come on down to downtown Barrington for the 7th annual Barrington Celtic Fest. The festival will be held at the renowned Irish establishment McGonagall's Pub. You'll celebrate live entertainment, Irish dishes, retail merchants, and family-friendly events during the day. Check out the 7th annual Barrington Celtic Fest if you're up that way. There is the Running with the Irish 5K, which is a 5K held at the Indiana Dunes. So looking at Northwest Indiana, there's a Saturday, March 11th, Running with the Irish 5K at Indiana Dunes. There's also a half-mile kids fun run. There's also a non-competitive fitness walk, and that's fun for the whole family. Running with the Irish, Indiana Dunes State Park in Chesterton. Packet pickup starts at 7 a.m. Next weekend, Shamrocks the Fox. So the 17th through the 19th, we actually have a nice event and a nice festival up in the north suburbs. This is in McHenry. Shamrocks the Fox, which is March 17th through the 19th. They'll be dyeing the Fox River, and they'll have other events going on in McHenry. Other parades that are taking place, Just to name a few, on Saturday, March 11th in Michigan City, Indiana, that's at 1 p.m. Sunday, the 12th in Plainfield is the Plainfield Hometown Irish Parade. That steps off at 1 o'clock. And there's a couple unique parades next weekend on Friday the 17th, March 17th. Crown Point St. Patrick's Day Parade is a evening parade that starts at 7 o'clock with lights at Downtown Square, Crown Point. And in addition to that, Hessville St. Patty's Day lighted parade in Hammond. That's also on Friday, March 17th at 6:30. With so many things to choose from this weekend and next, there's so many ways to make St. Patrick's weekend and St. Patrick's Day very special. Be sure to check out our list. It's not an all-encompassing list, but we have a pretty good start and a good jumping off point. Be safe out there, have fun, and go put your green on